looks like yard cat approves.
Well, it could have something to do with that tomcat that peed up the front of it this morning. So, as an update from yesterday, I've got bored of the NGZR and I've decided that Alfie is the car for me. So, I took him for his MOT yesterday and he got a pass, but with a couple of small advisories. This car has all of the potential to be a proper show car. I think so anyway. So, here's the idea. Let's turn Project Alfie into a show car project, part 1. Advisories first. Both front tyres, I believe, were advised for being a little bit low on tread. And I think he was being a bit of a nitpicker there because there's a good 2.5mm. Front calipers sticking slightly. But you know what? That might have had something to do with it being stood, because when I took it out this morning, there's no heat from the wheels and they felt perfectly fine. Rear trailing arm, bush slightly perished. You can't see it from here. Yeah, so nothing major really. Overall the car looks very nice, but then you open the bonnet and it's a bit grubby looking. It just has the look of an honest engine really. Dirty bits, slightly rusty, surface rusty bits here and there, and more dirty bits and more dirty bits all over. And then of course the rocker cover's leaking slightly, and there's a slight dribble of oil down the front of the block as they always have. And then the coolant has some oily residue in there. That oily residue was the reason I ended up with this car, because the previous owner suspected the head gasket might have gone. When I bought this car, I set the trip to 0. So that is 824 miles I've done in this car without any kind of issue whatsoever. The oily residue is still there. It's not going to go away, is it? But why is it there in the first place? Is the head gasket going? Because it certainly doesn't drive like it. It has no symptoms otherwise. Maybe the head gasket was done before, because that oily residue will just linger and linger and linger a bit more. But I haven't got any paperwork. I haven't got any paperwork for any of this kind of stuff at all. I've just got a service history book. Listen. That has to be the quietest K-series I have ever heard. Personally, I'm not keen on fixing things that aren't actually overly broken. So I'm going to leave that part of the engine. I'm just going to clean it. Yep, I'm going to clean the engine up. That is job number 1. Job number 2 is, as usual, to go back to the car I'm talking about. I've done this joke a few times, haven't I? I did give this car a quick wash over last night, but due to its colour, it does show every speck of dirt. That makes it a wash every day kind of car. But consider this car washed. What does it need? Well, it needs a couple of tiny scratches and a couple of tiny dents sorting out. I need to go and get the paint for this, tackle that first. But down this side, there are no dents on that door that I can see. Oh yes, there's a tiniest little ripple just there. The front wing's absolutely spot on. The bonnet's got what looks like someone's dropped a couple of stones onto it, and there's a tiny little dent there and another stone chip just there, and the rest of it is very, very good. It's quite astonishing really that a car can get to this age and have so little damage on it, and it's because of that that makes me feel it's well worthwhile doing the rest of it, getting it so it looks absolutely almost like brand new. Is that possible? There is one thing I want to do all over though, and that is another complete machine polish. I did it before, but I don't think I spent quite long enough doing it, because it does have certain patches where it's a little bit hazy, and I'd like to get rid of all that. I found another scuff just there, and that's it for the paintwork. Although it's not, because I'm going to have to replace this handle. Look at that. Somebody's been opening the Rover 45 door without observing the rule of Rover 45 ownership door opening etiquette. Yes, and that is that you push against the handle as you open it. That does sound a little bit like it's such a precious little thing, doesn't it? You can't just open the door, got to have a procedure. That's Rover for you, isn't it? And now for an episode of What's in the Skip? No. I do think it'd be a nice idea to get these bits all cleaned up as well. I've had a quick clean, but they were very, very grubby before. And they just need more washing. A good vacuum on the inside. And to finish the job off, a stereo, because it doesn't have one. Yeah, 824 miles with no music, 1,000 miles in the R8 with no music, 20,000 miles in Nigel with music that doesn't get listened to, and then another 10,000 miles or so in transit phase without music. There's a pattern, isn't there? You know the phrase 10-foot car, referring to a car that looks okay until you get closer than 10 foot. Well, Alfie certainly does better than that. It's a very, very good start for making not necessarily a concourse car, but one that's exceedingly nice. That's a 10-foot car, but Kev is no, that's a 30-foot car. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like it that much. One idea that I have for this car will be to replace these blue mirror caps with chrome. I'm sure the connoisseur model had chrome caps on it, and I like them. I've got chrome caps on Nigel. So I went on the hunt for some more chrome caps, and I've found one. But I need two. And I've got two, but they're both for the driver's side. But that does give me an idea. Yep. Copper coloured mirrors. What do we reckon to that? I know it's awful, isn't it? I had to satisfy my curiosity. And it wasn't for this car anyway. The idea was copper coloured mirrors could go on Nigel. And if I don't like it, I take them back off again. But I don't like it. I just don't think I do. What do you think? Super tacky, or not as bad as you was expecting? Also, what do you think? Tacky or nice? Or not as bad as what you would have thought? Well, that'd be a good idea, actually. Yeah. So there we have it. The start of the restoration of Project Alfie. Although it's not a restoration at all, was it? It was a recommission. And now some tidy up jobs. Oh, I shouldn't be patting myself on the back this early.